for any chord, we've talked about that they're a third apart, right? They're skipping notes. So all chords will have either all line notes or all space note. And that's how you recognize them on paper in a song. They're always that. But here's a C chord, for example. At the bottom you have middle C. If you put that C on top, you have the same chord because you have the same 3 notes, right? You kept these two notes. So we call that first inversion. So let's practice that on the keys. So on the keys, what will happen? So this time you're going to see my keyboard really big on your screen this way. So if you are starting with C, then you're taking visually, say, where's this C? The C is here, right? So then I'm going to keep these 2 fingers, I'm switching fingers on it, and then I'm hitting the C on top with my thumb. Right? That's how I practice the first inversion. Then I keep inverting. This one, the E, can go here instead because it's the same key on the right side of the 2 black keys, right? So I keep these 2 keys and I switch fingers on them. And here's my second inversion. Now most books tell you to practice it this way, going up. Root position or original position. Keep these 2 keys. What was the key that I just left? C. Here it is. Right? Then keep these 2 keys. Switch the E there for this E. And then keep inverting the G here instead. And I found the original position again, and that's how you practice chords in inversion. Most books would tell you to go up and then go down. And notice the fingering that I used. So we always use pinky and thumb because we always have a top note and a bottom note, right? I'm having my left hand. And in the middle, it's usually 3. 3 here also for the first inversion. For the second inversion, it's 2 indexed. Because if you put 3, you'll feel your hand a little bit more crooked. So in general, when we're choosing, because we all have different hands, different size, when we're choosing a fingering in the middle, we choose it so that we keep the fingers as parallel to the keys as possible. And we don't want to turn our hand too much. Okay, because this is more comfortable when your fingers are kind of parallel. So in this version, if I had put the 3, my hand has to shift a little bit, and it's a little bit this way. Not ideal for me. Now, some people do have weird fingers and the layout of their hands. I've taught so many different people. But most of the time, this fingering works for most people. Okay, so practice going up and down. Now, I teach my beginners to invert up, but then I teach to go back and invert down, because when you invert down, you're basically playing the second inversion. And it's just a matter of flexibility in your brain to be able to find this inversion, the second inversion. I think it's quicker to find it from the root position to go down than to go and then so in your head you have to go through the first inversion to get to the second inversion. So I usually teach go up and then go back and go down. That's the second inversion. But the explanation in most books is that they go in order: 1, first inversion, second inversion, and root position. That's why it's called second inversion. So up to you how you want to practice. I think for the purpose of playing with chords, it's easier to find this inversion going down. So just go like that. So these are all close position, right? And of course you do it in your right hand as well. Okay. So again, in that more beginning, they have all the fingering for you. So if you want to double check, go to that triad inversion C, F, and G, and you will have all the fingerings here. right? First inversion is 3, second inversion is 2. And for the right hand, it's here. First inversion, we use a index. And it's the second inversion, the inversion going down, that we use a 3. So just remember the terms, first inversion and second inversion, which I invert down basically. This is the one where I invert down. It's the same hand position.